Hey BP4U fans! So now that you have watched all of our elements, editing tips and tricks and how to use the program, let's go ahead and put it to some good use. Let's edit a photo. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the photo I'm going to edit, and I'm going to open this up into my photo editor, which would be right here. So I've got this photo in here now, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some adjustment layers. So let's start with some levels. I can see from my histogram that this picture is missing some blacks. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit some of those blacks back into the picture. And I'm just going to boost my whites just a little bit as well, and maybe darken my midtones. So you can see now that that has taken all that haze from our picture and gave us a really nice tone. The next thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to add a fill layer. And so I'm just going to grab a color here, and I'm going to change my blend mode to soft light. And then I'm going to come over here and double click on this to come through here and fine tune my color. This is more of what I was looking for. Something kind of soft and romantic. Okay, I like that. So there you can see the before and the after on that. And I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity of this layer because I don't want the effect to be too strong. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a brightness and contrast layer. I'm going to brighten just a little bit and add just a smidge of contrast so you can see my change there. And to me that actually looks really good. So I want to go ahead and hold down Control and Shift and click on my background layer, because this is going to highlight all of these layers for me, and Control E will merge them together for me. Now if I decided that I didn't want to do that and I wanted all of these layers to be open, just in case I decided to come back later and re-edit my photo or take away maybe this fill layer and turn that off, or whatever it was that I wanted to do, I could go ahead and save this as a PSD file, and that will allow me to, when I open this back up, I will have all of these layers here still intact. The downside to a PSD file is you can't share that photo on any photo sharing or any social media sites, and most photo sharing sites as well. You have to use an Adobe program to view that type of file. The other thing is, by the way, PSD stands for Photoshop Document. The other thing is that PSD files are larger than normal photo files because we are containing all of this data in there as well. So if I wanted to, I could save it as a PSD, or I could go ahead and I could merge my layers and go ahead and save this as a JPEG. And I would want to go up here to File and Save As. JPEG is already selected for me. I can click As a Copy, and that will keep me from writing over the original file. So if I wanted to go back in later and say or re-edit the picture, say this is for a client and my client didn't like something about the photo, or she wanted something changed, or she wanted it, who knows. So you changed your mind and you want to edit it differently, you still have the original file there to go back to. Or you could just change the name altogether of the file instead of saving it as a copy. That is up to you. So there's another file format that is popular for saving, and that is a .png file. A lot of you have probably heard of that before, and a PNG file is not what I would typically save this in, but a PNG file is more for when you're saving things with a translucent background. Let me show you. I'm going to go up here to File and Place. So I have this picture here, and this is actually a watermark. And as you can see here, as I blow this up, if I go ahead and place that, this has a translucent background. You can see as I move it around here, it takes on the color of the letters do. They take on the color of what is behind it. So as I move that around and I place that, you can tell that the background here is translucent. Well, this is a PNG file. Another thing that I could do with this type of file is I could upload it onto my blog, for example, and I could use it as a signature maybe, and at the bottom of my blog I wouldn't have a big white box the whole way around that. So let me show you what I mean. Let's go up. So this was also saved from the exact same document, and both of them had the background layers turned off. My constrained proportions box was not checked there. Always check that. So even though I had the background layer turned off for both of these copies, you can see the difference now between the JPEG and the PNG. Now this is the PNG, but this is the JPEG. The JPEG has to have something in the background, whereas the PNG does not. And so the JPEG file, if I were to, I use this as a watermark on my photo or upload it to my blog, I would always have that white background. Now of course on your blog, if you have a blog that has a white background to it, then that's not a big deal. But for those of you who have colored backgrounds, photos as backgrounds, anything other than white, it's going to be a big deal. It looks unprofessional, and it just does not have the same appeal as this one down here does. And so that's my quick tip for you today on saving your photos. So I'm pretty happy right now with my picture here. We can go ahead and you can see my before and my after. Loving the after. And I was able to use some awesome Photoshop Elements tips that I have taught you throughout this video series to quickly and efficiently go in and edit this photo and save it as a JPEG file. So thank you so much for watching this video tutorial. Happy editing!